All the details as Zinedine Zidane makes a sensational return as Real Madrid coach. We look at how his return might affect the futures of Hazard, Mbappé and Neymar. There's news on Manchester United's coaching position, and the Champions League is upon us once again. All this in the Onefootball Daily news. I'm Paddy, again filling in for Matt, who's still away. Let's get started. And there is, of course, only one place to start, and that's Real Madrid, who, much to the delight of the fans of the club, have re-signed Zinedine Zidane as coach. 284 days after he left the club saying it needed a change, he's back at the helm. That change, of course, was definitely for the worst, as Julian Lopetegui and then Santiago Solari failed to hit the heights that Zidane did, which of course included 3 consecutive Champions League trophies. But now he's back. And of course, having signed a long-term contract until 2022. He'll take training for the first time in his second stint on Thursday. What his arrival might mean for the futures of several players is up for discussion. I'm talking Isco, Asensio, Marcelo, maybe even Gareth Bale, all subject to speculation over the coming weeks. Santiago Solari will stay at the club in some capacity, but there's no doubt who is in charge once again. With Zidane's arrival comes the predictable deluge of transfer speculation. So where to start? It appears he will have some money to play with. 300 million is the budget that most people are saying he'll have to spend, but who's on his list? Well, top of that list seems to be Eden Hazard, with Madrid already apparently making an official approach to the player and the club. Despite the fact that no one actually official has commented on how official these reports are, we'll have to see how this one goes. 100 million seems to be the price tag if Real Madrid are to bring Hazard to the club, but it's probably a price that's just as steep for Chelsea, given they are looking down the barrel of a long-term transfer deal and will suffer definitely without being able to replace their star man. 2 more reported targets are Kylian Mbappé and Neymar, though you'd expect PSG to be unhappy to lose one of them, let alone 2. Still, Real Madrid would love to send a message to Barcelona by signing their former star Neymar, though of course that would take up quite a bit of the budget that Zidane seems to have at his disposal. Mbappé could be slightly more realistic, but still bloody expensive. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez happily said at the press conference that he would take both, and also joked that Zidane, being French, could help bring Mbappé to the club. By that reasoning, it seems that every Frenchman on the planet is now a target for Real Madrid. We'll start with Paul Pogba. You've heard it here first. But no matter how much credence you give those rumours, what is true is that Real Madrid finally have a bit of money to play with, and they finally have a coach who players want to play under. So every way you look at it, Real Madrid are going to have a big summer, and so are the clubs that hold some of the players they may be targeting. Keeping with coaching news, and it seems that Manchester United are about to make the most logical decision in the world and appoint Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as their club's permanent coach. With a coaching record of 14 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses, it left Manchester United with literally no choice but to appoint their former striker. And finally, we get someone in charge of the club who's not a grumpy old man and actually seems to enjoy the job he's doing. Finally, and last but not least, we go to the Champions League, which of course returns tonight, with both Juventus and Schalke facing an uphill battle to keep their Champions League hopes alive. Juve have unleashed a social media campaign to try and get their fans behind them, but they'll need some Champions League vintage from Ronaldo to get over their 2-0 deficit to Atletico Madrid. Manchester City, meanwhile, should get past a Schalke side in downright shocking form, even despite a struggle or 2 in the first leg. So, compared to tomorrow night at least, it should be a little bit more straightforward. But, as we learnt last week, nothing can be taken for granted, particularly in the Champions League. So, let's see what tonight has in store for us. So that's it for another Onefootball Daily news. Thanks for joining us. Let us know about all your reactions to last night's big news and your predictions for tonight's game. We'll see you next time.